What's going on?
Nice. Good morning, everyone. That's right, Miracle Monday, and we're here with Breaking Beyond with the amazing Brian Bogert, brianbogert.com, or at Bogert Brian. He's making it easy on me, putting in his signature line. Welcome back, my brother. What do you think of the new format for the Miracle Mondays?
I love it. I love it. I love it. After 2.5 years of us doing this, I think only missing 4 days on Instagram to be able to now multi-stream across all platforms. It's just allowing these conversations and the incredible guests we get to have further exposure, man. It's always growth and expansion. So I love it. And I'm excited we're getting started.
Me too. It's just growing and accelerating, aggregating, compounding in the community, acknowledgement and awareness of what we're doing, my brother. You know, my first question always on Miracle Monday as we start off the week on tax day. Everybody, I'm sure, is feeling a little bit of intrepidation that they are or aren't prepared. It's amazing. It's not that the date has changed this year. And so for you, what is your takeaway of the week since I've seen you here on Miracle Monday?
Yeah. So we wrapped a 4-day retreat experience. We run these twice a year. We call it our Take Out Your Trash Transformational Retreat, where we compress decades into days. And that is where my lesson really comes from. You know, it's amazing, especially in an immersion style event like that, where we're all living in the same house, going through the same activities, doing all the same things, how complete strangers from all across the world leave in just a couple of days as family. And when the environment is created in a place that's safe and protected, the level of vulnerability and transparency that people are go to that only bonds them at a deeper level is just amazing. So transference and transformation takes place collectively, but it's amazing how strangers can become family in the right environments.
Yeah, the credibility of the program and the platform that you have and the emotional attachment of finding determinative upon the subject matter topic or expertise, an emotional connection can bond us as if we are family or at least friends like you and I, and we've experienced that together, and empowering others to empower us to do the same. For me, the takeaway of the week, obviously I was at the Masters, and over 30 years of being at the Masters, so much has changed. And looking at that change, it was a reminder that not only are all agreements with other people, implied, written, or verbal, but agreements with ourselves, they all require us to be annoying. And the first step of being annoying for me was to be honest with myself, which evokes an ego-based response, which then inhibits me from being honest to myself because I don't want to feel that way about myself. And the biggest takeaway is inherent in there is I was at the Masters, something I've been repetitive with for so many years, that the minute that we make an agreement, implied, written, or verbal, to ourselves or to others, time, emotion, and value changes. And a lot has changed this year at the Masters. And it was already a difficult event comparatively to all the other things I do, including Super Bowl, Pro Bowls, Kentucky Derbies, and Breeders' Cups, other things like the Oscars, Emmys, and Grammys. The Masters is like none other as an event, but as far as difficult, because you can't just make changes quickly when time, emotion, and value changes. And so inherent in that was, can I be honest with myself in a repetitive situation and still not be hard on myself? Is there an ability, a human ability, to be honest with myself without being hard on myself? And this is a next level awareness in which I am starting to practice myself. Counterintuitive to human nature, practice is very difficult. And we all know why, because the simple things to do are unfortunately simple not to do. But I am on a new mission here with my takeaway from the master is that I'm going to try to be brutally honest with myself without being brutal to myself. And I wish it upon other people. I can see our dear friend
Yeah.
in the green room shaking her head. So she must have some enlightenment for us. She's coming out of New Jersey, CEO and owner of Footprints Coaching, one of the world's best coaches, been doing it for over 17 years. Nothing's braver, by the way, Yorona, than in Rona Boster's here. There's nothing braver or more courageous than a 17-year-old life coach. So it's good to see that you've been coaching as long as some of these courageous coaches is out there. And your podcast is evolutionary as well. The evolution of parenting. And once again, to be annoying to our children, right? We have to be honest to them and repetitive to the things we hate when our parents are to us. Welcome to the Miracle Monday Office Hours Breaking Beyond edition. There's more titles to the show than there is anything else. The amazing Yorona Boster. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. And I'm honored to be here today.
We're honored to have you. And, especially we're both parents and we know how tough it is. I got 4 kids varying in ages. I want to start with these ideas of where is the balance of being annoying to our kids? Because we want the best for them and we have to be honest with them and we have to be repetitive because repetition allows us to take off different layers of the epidermis of the truth. How, and I know you talk about this evolution, how does these two capabilities of parenting fall into the context of what you think is best for us as parents?
I think the first thing we always have to do is recognize that our children are autonomous people. They're not our mini-me's. They're not designed in our image or anything like that. They're autonomous right from the start. And our job, our role, here's the thing. Yes, when they're little, really little, it's our job to protect them because literally the survival need is that we protect them. But as they age, our job stops being about protecting them and our job starts being about giving them the tools to protect themselves. And the best ways that we can do that is humanizing ourselves to our children. And I know this is going to sound crazy, but it's really not. It's actually about the God complex versus, think about it like this. An infant is really tiny and you're really big. So the reason why your children trust you is because you're larger than their life. You're larger than them. And we humanize ourselves to our children by showing them our human traits, our mistakes, our fallibilities, the times when we do things wrong and have to course correct and start to change things around. So the more we do that with our children, the more we equalize the playing field and the more mutual respect grows. And then they start to learn how to do that themselves. So they both learn the protective tools and they learn that it's okay to make a mistake. What actually matters more is what you do moving forward.
That is beautiful. And I could not agree more. In our retreat this weekend, what's interesting is very often the stuff that we're unpacking from the trash from people's past has to do with parents in how they were raised in their childhood in their first 7 to 14 years, right? And the lack of ability, and particularly for my generation, your guys' generation, where it was kind of like, because we told you so, and shut up and deal with it, and all of those narratives that we're really compressing.
Right.
What's interesting is I love the way that you are utilizing truth, because we often believe that it is neutral and ultimately objective, but it's owning the truth in the real time that we find most important. Just yesterday, I was wiped out and my son came to the house for the retreat, did all these things, and he was like all active and I was like brain dead and didn't have access to words. And I just said to him, I was like, buddy, dad's having a hard time communicating right now, so just be patient with me. And he's like, cool, got it. Now, what do you believe is the biggest challenge and difficulty for most parents today to be able to harness the art of truth and communication to be able to allow their kids to access all of what you're teaching?
Understanding what their role actually is.
Yes.
I think it's so huge. Here's the thing I ask most parents that I speak with. At the end of your life, this is the hardest thing, but I talk about death a lot in parenting. And I ask parents, at the end of your life, literally imagine the end of your life, wherever and whenever it may be. What is the one thing you want to know in your role as a parent? And often the response is, well, of course, I want to know my kids will be okay without me, right? Because they're going to be without you at some point. It's not an if, it's a when. So if you ask yourself that question, I want to know my kids will be okay without me, you have to start with that end goal in mind. Always. Everything you do has to be with the understanding that you're slowly moving away from them and that they will live their own lives and you will live your own life. I wrote a chapter, a co-author book chapter in Cracking the Rich Code about the investment every parent needs. And that is to start talking about loss. And there are age-appropriate ways to do this. There are. I'm not talking about traumatizing our kids with death, okay? Far from it. But even yesterday, so my son and I are hospice volunteers. He's 6. He's the youngest hospice volunteer. And I'm not talking about him going and seeing them in the state of, in the dying, the actual last final throes of death, but rather these are people who are in home, or who are in facilities, and they're on hospice care, and they don't have a lot of companionship. So we go and we be their companions. And we have an 89-year-old and we have a 95-year-old, and it's wonderful. And he's learning from them and he's learning how to treat them, but he's also very, very well aware of life's inevitability, which is that we leave this form at some point. So he gets that. He truly gets that. And he already experienced it. He just lost his grandfather in the fall, and he lost his cat, and he's 6. So he's already experienced loss. And I have an excess of loss in my background. So, it's really about teaching them how to do that and setting them up for that.
And within the context of teaching them about that, like you said, you don't want to traumatize them. We have to have the awareness of the evolution of children, which is, they go from, as you stated, idolization to demonization to humanization. That'll be the context. And I love one of the words that is confusing as you reconcile our roles and empowerment as parents. A lot of people don't understand the word caution. And so our job is to provide caution to children, varying degrees of caution determined upon the situation, but to allow them, like you said, to have, as you're dripping out death to a 6-year-old, you're providing caution. And your podcast and you speaking, and I know you're launching a new program in June, I believe, as well for people. I highly suggest you check it out. And we'll see you in hopefully May. I'm doing a dinner in New York. I want to invite you to meet even more people. But along the context of the idea, I have made remarkable healing with my own mom, who, is in assisted living now. She's 80, with just understanding the goal of a parent for their child, which is 1, that they're happy, 2, they're healthy, 3, they love us and others, and 2, appreciate us and others as well. And so in the context of I call my mom every day. I'm going to see her tonight as well, to tell her that I'm happy, healthy, love, and appreciate her. And it's amazing how many things we want to have you back. There's more shows that Brian and I have. I'd love to meet you in person as well.
Sure.
I want to get deeper. We don't have time on this show, but as a daughter of a Holocaust survivor, I always said, you're usually, if you're a daughter or a son of a Holocaust survivor or grandchild of a Holocaust survivor, you have a different perspective of complaining. And you're usually not a big complainer if you have been in that relationship. And there's a new show on Hulu, the lucky, we're the lucky ones. If you haven't seen it, I love it. And it gives me that perspective about what are you complaining about, even as a 56-year-old, as you watch what happened in Poland years ago, regardless of your religion, philosophy, spirituality, or theories that you have in the world. It is a perspective builder, and it's people like Yorona that are giving us perspective, especially in the most important job that we inherit, called parenting. Check out the Evolution of Parenting podcast. Check out and sign up for She has books, her parenting program in June, and she has a new speaker coaching program launching this fall as well. Eurona at Eurona Boster 1, my favorite number, like Warren Moon, and my birthday is 111. CEO and owner of Footprints Coaching. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you a lot more. We appreciate you.
Absolutely. Be well.
Thank you,
Be
Rona.
well.
Thank you. Thank you
Great
both.
insight. All right. As usual, we're rocking and rolling. Jakey Bakey's in the house, the founder of the Solar Academy. Hopefully, he'll be joining me on Saturday. I'll be down in San Diego speaking at Tag Talks again and doing a meetup. And I'll also be at SolarCon, so we may be there. Who knows? This guy's built so many successful businesses over the last 4 years alone, grossing over 100 million, Brian. That's no joke. And we're going to talk about SolarCon here. Is coming up this week. And welcome, Jake Hess. We are pleased to have you here and want to learn more about the Solar Academy, obviously.
Thank you, David. I appreciate being here. I do love the Solar Academy, but we do have SolarCon coming up here in a couple days.
Yeah, we definitely do. And I'll be there we have a VIP dinner. We're keynoting with some of the world's greatest speakers. Gary's going to be there, and Andy, and many, many others. I'm losing my train of thought. Give me an idea of, why it makes a difference to get everyone together. I know April 18th to 20th this week's. You can get your tickets at attendsolarcon.com. But a lot of guys that are in sales, they're a little bit short-sighted and they think they can go about it alone. And they don't realize the quantitative value of a collective consciousness. SolarCon creates this collective consciousness. What are people missing out if they don't understand that collective consciousness, Jake?
I believe they're missing out on most everything that the great sales books teach you, and all the great mentors, that your network is your net worth. The 5 people around you kind of dictate about what you're making. So if any salespeople are struggling in sales and they think that being in the same circles that they're in is going to help them, I would tell them to reconsider that, because when they can come to a conference like this, be with their peers and some of the best in the entire country, they'll make relationships that can elevate their careers and their success.
As somebody who has started and built 7 businesses over 4 years, grossing over $100 million, you have a perspective that many entrepreneurs wish they could have, right? You've had unbelievable success and an unbelievable trajectory taking off in that amount of time frame. I say unbelievable success and how we define it from a financial perspective, but give us some perspective as to what that revenue, what that growth has provided for you and your communities to create an even broader ripple effect of impact, obviously SolarCon being one of those modalities.
Yeah, that's a interesting question on the spot, because I can think of several answers, but my mind immediately goes right to my family and all that they've benefited from that. It's growing up. It's weird. It's a weird concept thinking that you can provide something of value to those that you love. And I was able to do that. And, after taking care of myself and my family, it became clear to me that the feelings from that should probably be shared by more. And what happened was I started to gain a lot of impact and influence in an industry that probably, frankly, needs it. There's a lot of volatility in our industry. And for me, the biggest benefit to all of this, so I would say, would be the impact and influence I can help and make on people's lives, much like the two of you. It's great.
One of the reasons I wanted to be involved in SolarCon is I love industries, careers, and jobs that are at their essence around the true math of sales. One of the great things about solar is that it has a very apparent quantitative value. For example, as a coach, it's very subjective whether or not you're going to bring a quantitative value to an individual, determinative in how you mentor them, coach them, and teach them. But with solar, someone like you who has helped teach and mentor so many different sales professionals in the solar industry, you got to know the math. And at its core, understanding at SolarCon from a variety of different perspectives, whether it's someone like Gary Vaynerchuk, myself, Andy Elliott, so many other people are going to be there, yourself, that have different perspectives on how to articulate the value in a quantitative way. it really comes down to how many doors are you knocking on and how well do you describe the math? Because what I love about solar, and I'll never starve, because if anything should ever happen, I will knock on doors and sell solar, because I can get to a place where I can ask a simple question, which is, can you see any reason you won't want to move forward after I've articulated? Why is it so many people hide from the math, and they dance around overselling, back end selling, lying, manipulating, and cheating in sales, when in an industry that doesn't need it at all, you
No.
can just go through the math and knock on a ton of doors and say, hey, what do you know about solar? What are you doing today about solar? What do you like about solar? What don't you like about solar? And then give them more of what they like, take away what they don't like, do the math, and you'll have a huge success rate. Why can't we get people to do that? And they go ahead and keep dancing around themselves instead of doing the math.
That's an interesting question, and I like to think that I am able to answer that for the entire world, but my thinking is salespeople are typically, and I'm one of them, so I'm not bashing anyone, but
So am
typically,
I.
you're a salesperson as well, I know. But typically emotional, and if we were not emotional and in tune with our emotions, then how could we possibly invoke that out of others that we're meeting with? And I think it becomes fear-based, because when you start to have them look at quantitative values and look at numbers and use data to give them direction on how to change their pitch or to change their lifestyle in order to manage and maintain that pitch with the homeowners to keep that influence on them, I think that they get lost a little bit. A lot of the metrics in our industry revolve around incentivizing these sales reps to do things, and a lot of times those milestones aren't actually set on the proper places. They're set on getting a contract signed instead of getting fulfillment completed. And I think that breaking through that culture might be one of the more difficult things to do. The culture of keep pushing, keep grinding. It's a numbers game, keep going. And they never stop to wonder what those numbers are, because they have so many motivating factors behind them, pushing them forward.
Yeah, and just real quick, Jake, too, in that measure, we're doing a VIP dinner during SolarCon as well, where you have a more intimate environment where you can actually, it's one thing to listen to us on stage, and I love trying to get to what people are listening for, but that's more of a performance than a collaboration. And it's so nice that SolarCon is providing a value to people to give them intimate conversations where they can ask very specific questions that are personalized to them, as well as you talked about how important it is to build that community of people that want to help you and know people that can help you. It's invaluable in all types of different facets. So I want to thank you for providing me the opportunity to do that, along with some of the great leaders at SolarCon and the people that are attending, because not everybody sees that, and they're more interested in just hiring you to speak. And speaking to people is valuable, but not nearly as valuable as collaboration and coordination of listening for what people really need, customized to what they really want in their lives, personal and professional. Shaking your head, B, you got a final question for our boy Jake?
I just want to go deeper on the emotional component. It's obvious how you led and answered on that question, and really the one before with your family, that you've done a lot of personal work to be able to understand, raise your level of awareness, ownership, and be able to also neutralize and use your emotions in a positive way. Could you just give a little bit of insight into maybe one of the more challenging moments in the build over the course of the 4 years, and how were you able to identify the emotions that were connected to it and utilize them or move through them so that you could have the success that you've continued to create?
Wow, that is a beautiful question, and probably one of the most relevant in my life at this moment. So thank you for that. Before hopping into that, David, I wanted to address what you said. I am extremely thankful, beyond more than you could think, to have you come and speak at SolarCon, and the willingness that you had to do it. So we are very thrilled to have that dinner, and thank you very much. But Brian, to get to you, I noticed one of the most challenging things for me was just right in between my ears here. It was my mindset. And for me, I get so passionate about this vision I have and about this direction that I want to go and the way that things should look. Any CEO does. If they didn't, they probably wouldn't start a business, right? No one wants to be second best. They think they can do it better. And And a lot of times when people didn't see that vision or get in line with the things that I needed, I actually would feel this fire inside and this emotional anger, I suppose. I didn't handle the relationships and the potential partnerships the way that I should have. I thought, hey, if you don't see this, then, be gone with you. And sometimes I was passive aggressive, sometimes I was frustrated, and that was to my detriment. What I learned through this process was that if I am showing those signs, if someone else is doing that to me, I remember I was watching somebody just get really frustrated at me and losing their mind almost. You could see they were so holding back, but they were so angry. And I thought, in my mind, what is going on in this person's life that they feel that they need to act this way to me? Because if it was someone right next to them, they might react completely differently, professional even, with a softer tone, with a smile. Because they'd be looking at me with empathy. They would understand that what I'm saying is because it's my vision, and they probably didn't mean to offend, where someone else gets frustrated. And I realized that person that was angry and frustrated was me. I saw myself, and I saw how weak I looked, and I saw how insecure I looked, and I saw the faults that I had. And I was actually literally showing people that. And so when I started to build relationships with wealthier people or people in positions that I wanted to be in, and I acted that way, they could accommodate me with their words, and I felt like the relationship was great. But what they learned was that I had insecurities and weaknesses and things, and they didn't have to say it because I was saying it with my expressions and my tone. And that has helped me significantly to begin to control that.
So Jake, a little gift for you. You said I should have twice in that statement. Should's a shame-based word. It implies whoever you are, whatever you're doing, you're not good enough. So you clearly are. So learn to replace should with the word could or would, and your energy will change because it won't lower your vibration and frequency, my friend. Dude, the beautiful answer.
I will absolutely do that. I am doing that. I'm going to do that.
Beautiful. I'll have you back for
healthy.
some shows as well.
I am healthy, wealthy, happy, and worthy. You'll learn that from Jake Hess. What are we doing to interfere with it? Why don't you come out to SolarCon, attend solarcon.com. Join people. We'll be there, one-on-one meetups, VIP dinners, and some of the greatest speakers in the world to teach you how to sell the right way by providing people more of what they like and taking away what they don't like. Learn to articulate the quantitative value to exceed what you're asking for. It's all about the math, especially in the solar industry. Use that credibility, emotional attachment, provide those reasons, impacts with the extraordinary capabilities that SolarCon will provide, as well as its leader, Jake Hess. Thanks for joining us. We'll look forward to seeing you on Wednesday night through Saturday. That's the 18th through the 20th. Tickets are still available. Attend solarcon.com. Come and see us. We'd love to see you. Jake, we'll see you soon.
Thank you both very much.
You're amazing, brother. Great interview. We'll have you back. All right. Last but not least, our cleanup hitter is waiting in the wings as we are here rocking and rolling as usual. And we have Sean Antonio here. Bring him on. He's dressed to impress.
I love the hat. I love the scarf, man. It's so good.
Hey, thanks, Vince. Great to see you.
Yeah, it's amazing to say the least, right?
Truly.
Sean Antonio Books at gmail.com, at Sean Antonio 11. We got all the ones rocking and rolling, as I was born on January 11th, and we got 1 and 11 in that. Well, Sean, I wanted to have you on because you and I are on the same mission.
I heard
people, right?
1 billion people, right? 1 billion people. First of all, good morning. Great to have you guys. Great to be with you guys. David, Jake. Jake was on before. I love what you said to Jake, Brian, about replacing, the shoulda, coulda, wouldas, right? All that speak that we do that just shoots us in the foot. So I love that I got to witness that. That was awesome. So thank you for
your energy is outstanding, and your positivity is pervading the office hours. Miracle Monday, Breaking Beyond with Brian Bogert here with us now. You've had some rock bottoms. You've almost died 4 times, I think. You've actually died twice, almost died 4 times. You're an author, a life coach, a motivational speaker on a mission, not only providing and helping over 1 billion people with me, but creating corporate culture.
Yes.
And, a program that can create culture for all of us. Now, I'm going to ask you a question that probably is more relevant to Brian than it is to myself.
Okay.
In a life-threatening situation, since both of you have shared that experience. And do we have to have those type of experiences in order to get the bigger bounce, or can you have a bigger bounce without having a bigger bottom?
Oh man, that is the best question to start off with. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to say no and yes. Here's how I answer it. My wife, Alicia Antonio, said this to me back in 2011 before we got married. We were business partners, had an events company. We did events all over the country and Australia. And she said this quote to me, and it really pissed me off back then because I wasn't ready to hear it. She said, sometimes education is violence. And it like sat on my chest. So when I heard that, I went and I asked humanity, I'm like, what's going on with us as humans that we have to have a traumatic situation or almost dying twice, almost dying 4 times, right? And I'm sorry that happened to you as well, Brian, to wake up, to have our aha moment, whether it be a spiritual awakening, you go to Tibet and find yourself. I went to Egypt in 2011. That opened up my 11s. By the way, I have 1111 tattooed on my arms because there's a whole story about all my lineage and my family. But yes and no. I'd say yes because people get we get comfortable in life. We get so complacent, we get lazy, and we are uninspired. We get in our heads with the traumas, like Jake was saying earlier about his insecurities, right? Our traumas get in the way of us being in our true self. So whatever religion, background, skin color, whatever your thing is, if you don't wake up to being clear about what your why is, David, I'm sure you said this before, Brian, I'm sure you've said this before, what's your why? What's your purpose? Why do you exist here? What's your plane? If you can step into that in an early age and live that way, rock and roll, you will live your best life. But oftentimes us humans, because I call us silly humans, we tend to have a trauma happen to wake up. You know, my first one, I was 4 years old. I had an asthma attack and I died. My heart stopped. Everything went, I rushed to the hospital, woke up in the hospital 4 days later. I was on machines the whole 9. Second one, got hit by a car in 1997. Got hit by a car, died. All my internal organs were lacerated, couldn't walk. I was a professional dancer back then. Had my own dance company. Couldn't dance for 3 months. Had a nurse, had the whole thing. The nurse part was fun. But yeah, it was just, you got to get clear about what your purpose is and start living like that. Stop living excuses. So yeah, humans are stubborn. Yeah. We're stubborn like that. And then we allow everything that's not consistent with what we want in our lives. That's our fault. My bad. You know, that anti-hero song from Taylor Swift. Love her. She goes, it's me. I'm the problem. It's me. Right? Oftentimes we don't look at ourselves in the mirror and say, hey, it's me. What am I not doing to step into my best self? What's the excuse? What's the story? What's the old narrative? What's the thing? Oh, just because I'm black, I'm this. No, just I'm white, I'm this. No, all those narratives don't apply. So yeah, just getting out of your own way and getting clear and only living that life. That's it. That's it. I get so passionate about that.
I love the passion. I can feel it, man. It's like you're making me vibrate over here. It's insane. It's beautiful. Thanks, but here's the thing, right? Like a healthy relationship with mortality, I think, is essential for real freedom in life. So whether it's a big T, a little T trauma, or some perspective, that's real. But what I find traps most people in life is when their intent is misunderstood, misjudged, or people are criticized and judged or penalized for things that actually aren't real. You experienced that at a really large scale because you were falsely accused of murder when you didn't actually murder anyone and were put away behind bars. And so not just trapped behind your own armor trying to defend it, but literally locked behind bars. Give a little bit of perspective as to how you reconciled your own internal truth as you're being literally incarcerated for something that you did not do, which is even bigger than being misunderstood for something that wasn't actually said even.
Yeah, I mean, that's a powerful one. That comes up often, and thank you for mentioning that, Brian. Yeah, I got accused of murder. A gentleman hit me. He was unfortunately on drugs. He was on drugs. I was dead sober. I happened to be the wrong skin color. So unfortunately, some things happened, and I was falsely accused, and I spent 118 days in jail. 113 was my run, so almost 4 months. So for me, I had to really dig deep and go, Sean, what's the lessons? Why this happened to me? A guy who follows all the rules, doesn't break laws, doesn't do any of that stuff. Why'd they choose me? And I got really clear because I got chosen because of my influence in who I am and how I choose to train my mindset. The time I was in jail was really dark. It's really dark because it's segregated in there. There's a lot of racism. There's a lot of just things. And I'm Spanish and Dutch and Black. So I'm a mix of all that. So I had to run some really fine lines in there to survive. So I had to be my best actor to get through that. But shaking off that trauma took a lot of rewiring in our brain. In my brain, for those couple of years, it happened to me, January, happened in my life. I won't say happened to me because I view it as what happens to you and for you. What happens to you and at you is for you, right? So what happens to you and at you is for you. It's your lesson. My lesson was, what am I not living in? And so when I got thrown in jail, I'm sitting there and I'm like, what do I do? So I had to reset my mind and really just pick up the pieces and start to like declare what it is. And I had to clean up a lot of public stuff because people thought I was drunk and I killed someone. That's what it said. Sean Antonio, 42 or 41 back then, drunk driver kills motorcyclists. And back then I was in nightlife. So it went viral. And it was there was a lot of shame and guilt that got thrown at me that wasn't mine. I'm like, guys, I happened to be in the right place, right time, wrong place, right time, right? That whole mindset. And it was traumatizing. But I had to choose to push through all that. And my support village, my friends, people around the world, all my just supporters and the love that I had. And I was just vulnerable. I said, guys, hey, this is what happened to me. When I could speak about it, I said, this is what happened. And what am I going to do with this? It's up to me. That was gnarly. And I get asked about it all the time. And I always jump forward and say, hey, I take responsibility for my actions about it. And what happened was all on purpose. There's so much numerology behind it. David, you mentioned numerology earlier. There's so much stuff that happened that aligned to that moment. It was crazy. So I'm grateful it shifted my life. Sorry for the loss of the gentleman that passed, but it woke me up. It woke me up to what I'm supposed to be really doing.
Yeah, there's a saying, it doesn't happen to you or for you. With the books, the experience, the speaking, the coaching, it's obviously happening through you, as it has through Brian, and it has through me as well, in the abundant, infinite system of thought in which we exist. And unfortunately, a lot of times we interfere with, and we have those lessons to learn, and they'll keep on coming until we learn them. As long as we're protected, promoted, and loved, we can pass that through to others, and empowering over 1 billion people along with me, the incredible Sean Antonio, seanantoniobooks@gmail.com. Check him out. He has an incredible story that will inspire and elevate you, your soul, your awareness, philosophies, even maybe your strategy of how to live a better life through you for others. My friend, Sean, will be up at SoFi Stadium or office on Friday. Maybe you'll come and join us, stop by our mastermind. I'll have our team reach out to you since you're perfect. A local there in West Hollywood and a legend beyond that. Thanks for joining us.
David, Brian, great to be with you guys. I'll see you guys around. I'll talk to you guys soon, all right?
You got it. Thank you.
See ya.
All right. Double B in the place to be. It's Breaking Beyond with Brian Bogert here on Miracle Monday. Just another great day, great interviews on a new format, distributed and elevated everywhere. Double B, what's your takeaway of the day?
When we understand our emotions and can communicate them to ourselves, we have the ability to communicate them to others, both in words and in actions. And if we understand the art of communication and building community, we actually can have a ripple effect that allows us to free each other in sales, in communication, in events, and in ultimately allowing people to see what's possible on the other side of mortality.
I love it. My takeaway is sometimes you got to be a point guard and sometimes you got to be a six man, and picking the team by subject matter, topic, or expertise that you want to be on, in the participation that you want to have as a point guard or a six man, determined upon the leagues and organizations in which you want to participate in, the communities that you're involved in. Make sure you're very clear on your role, whether it's to be in a position that other people want to be in and give them directions, or find others that are in a position that you want to be and give them directions. That's why I sit next to every single week for over 2 years, the Double B, BrianBogert.com, or at Bogert Brian. I shouldn't even look at that because I knew it before. That's BrianBogert.com or at Bogert Brian. Check him out. He is an extraordinary storyteller with many lessons to help you make a lot of money, help a lot of people, and have a lot of fun. Thank you, Double B, and it's great to see you. And I love this new format and the musical additions that we have. Double peace. I'll see you soon.
Love you, brother, man. Talk soon.
Great job. All right, everyone. You can always reach out to me, David at dmeltzer.com. If you want to know where I'm going to be, because I'm dedicated to 200 cities or more this year. This week alone, we'll be at SoFi tomorrow. We'll be in Utah at SolarCon. We'll be at Tag Talks on Saturday. Forgot. We have a mastermind on Friday, I think, as well, this week. At SoFi Stadium again. So, and then in San Diego, then Las Vegas, then Utah again, and many, many more. But let's stick to what we're doing. Go ahead, text me 949-298-2905. It is the best way to get alerted to where we're at, or email me, David at dmeltzer.com. Remember, most importantly, Be kind to your future self. Do good deeds. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day. We'll see you at SolarCon. Talk to you soon.